Sometimes people will ask questions. How do I connect with my intuitive nature? How do I receive guidance? How do I know what to do? I'm always so confused. I don't know which way to turn, what to do. So many times people will seek out others to help them, whether they be a psychic, a reader, or a book, or a teacher. Um, and I want to state, whether or not others state it doesn't matter, but I'm going to state it here. What's most important is that when we are reaching out, realize that whatever teacher you're reaching out to, their task is to guide you within you, to illuminate for you your own connection to that which is inside of you, and not become dependent on the teacher or the reader or anyone else. Everyone else is wonderful to interrelate with, but then we need to step away, go by ourselves, get quiet, take a breath in, and connect. Connect to our own guidance within. Every one of us has this. No one is without it. All we need do is turn within. And at these times, these very challenging times of this great awakening period for us, it's so essential that we ground ourselves with the energy of the earth, and that we focus our attention within, to the source within us, to the God within, to that voice within, that we connect there, so that we are being in connection with the divine flow and not led astray, not allowing ourselves to be hijacked by all the distraction and confusion going on in the world around us. We need to close our physical eyes to that which the information is coming into, and turn within and open our inner eye and experience the presence. And when we do, we'll experience it in our own unique way. We're going to outline information and ways to connect here today, but it is the practice, when we put it into play, that determines what our experience will be. So, with that being said, I want to begin with a quote. The quote is, it is not enough, it is not enough to have intuitions. We must act on them. We must live them. And that's by Patanjali. So it's not enough to just have that voice within awakened, but we must listen to that voice and then act, take action in the world. We're here for the physical experience. From a metaphysical perspective, this is a deeply personal journey that requires ongoing self-reflection. It requires us to set the intention to live a life in divine connection, to approach our everyday life with that intention set, and that we are mindful of what we are doing and how we are doing it. All this plays into connecting with that voice within. It's a practice. It's about recognizing the spiritual essence within each of us and embracing the interconnectedness of all aspects of our being and the universe. It's part of that process. Tuning into our intuition, learning how to access and how to pay attention to this still, small voice within. It's subtle energy, And when we are able to relax as best we can, and I understand these are very challenging times, and many of you are very anxious. I understand that. And we can say, yeah, I'm very anxious in the moment, but I'm going to put into play a practice. And I'm going to sit down for 5 minutes. And I'm just going to close my eyes and I'm just going to breathe. And I'm going to put my intention to connect with that voice within. And then I'm just going to focus in on my breath and let whatever takes place take place. If I hear something, feel something, have a sensation in my body, I make note of it. If nothing comes in that moment, that's just fine too. It will come. So, from the Voice of Oneness team, who I've been working with for many, 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 many years, we at one time put out what we call daily whispers. And that's the whisper of spirit speaking from the heart of spirit to our hearts, to awaken within us, to ignite the flame within us, to remember who we are in truth, in absolute truth. Not the truth that we accept as the description of who we believe ourselves to be, but the absolute truth of that which we are, having been created by that which is the source of all creation. We may call that God, infinite intelligence, nature, whatever the name that we assign to it that fits our personal belief systems is for us to use. And if someone else uses the term God, and we may not be feeling that that's in resonance with us because we have other connotations that we've assigned to that name, it's for us to say, okay, well, I understand what you mean when you say God. To me, that means nature, or to me, that means light, or to me, that means love, whatever it may be. And just turn it to what it means to you. And do your best not to become caught up in the term used, but feel your way into the energy. This way we can all move together. Daily Whisper, your chaos is of your own making. It is a wonderful way for you to learn about you, how to read your body, how to listen to your inner voice. This voice is always without strain, and it's always clear, never leading you in a direction that is not aligned with your spirit. Never leading you in a direction that is not aligned with your spirit. Your spirit is love. Aligning with love, aligning with your highest good and the highest good of all others. That's the direction that you are led with the inner voice. Never to take advantage of someone or do someone harm or seek revenge or do anything that's going to harm you in any way. You know, the inner voice isn't going to tell you, you need to leave your job because it's just not fulfilling for you. So you need to leave today, give your notice. Meanwhile, that's your support. And if you give your notice, you're in big trouble. So what would lead us to information like that is not our inner voice. That's our own mind, our own ego, or misguided energy. I'm going to call it misguided energy that was seeking to have us do that which is not in our highest good. So know that always aligned with your highest good. When you become agitated or confused, it is because you've allowed yourself to be led by your ego. So agitated, confused, okay, that's where I am in the moment. Now I need to, since I know where I am, I need to take action. Because if where I am is not aligned with where I want to be, then I've got to bring myself to where I want to be. So if I'm agitated and confused, it is not the time to make a decision. It's not the time to make a decision. Step away. Take a few minutes or however long you need to calm yourself and to begin to connect to the inner voice. Begin to connect to. So connect to, if I need to make a decision. Suppose there's an opportunity that comes up. And it's an opportunity to, I'm going to just throw this out there, to enter into business with someone or to date someone, a partner. And when we think about it, we start getting a little nervous or a little anxious, and we're not really sure. And then before we step in and get involved in a place we may not be aligned, we want to stop, we want to reflect, and we want to check in. We want to check in with the voice within. And if we're not used to doing that, if that's something new, we just can say, I want to check in with my body. I want to see how I feel. We can do that by closing the eyes and simply imagining, whether you could see it in your mind or just feel it, that you are standing before the person, this potential partner or potential business partner, whoever it may be. And you're standing in the same space in a room, and you're starting to come closer to one another. You're getting closer and closer. And as you're getting closer and closer, pay attention to the feeling in your body. If you are becoming more anxious, if you are becoming more disturbed in your energy, that's a flag. Now, imagine now you're close and you begin to speak to one another. You can imagine what the words are you say, and then listen to the words that you receive, that which is coming to you from this person, their energy or their words. And you will know whether or not it's wise for you to take another step in their direction. That's one way. That's an example. One way. And then you breathe, you just relax. And then as you're just sitting quietly with your eyes closed, and you've done this practice to imagine that you're before this person or in the place or whatever it may be, assign your particular goings on to it. And then you may sit and have your spine as straight as it can be. And then just ask yourself if this is for you. And if you ask yourself and you just pay attention to the movement in your body, something that is for you, your body will very gently, very subtly lean into. When it's not for you, it will very gently back away. And if you can pay attention and be aware enough, you can access that guidance in that way. That's another way that you can do it. So that's two ways of which can be beneficial for you when you're beginning to connect and not sure of the inner voice. To discover the inner knowing, the awareness of the truth of your being, and live life from that truth, seek the highest expression of self in each and every moment. The highest expression, our highest expression is love. So now we've got our theme, the inner echo, embracing the voice within. So what is embracing? To embrace. To embrace is to open up to accept, to take in, to join with, to embrace. So we want to take in, open up to, accept, join with the inner voice. So from the team, it says, we are gathered together for the purpose of speaking of as one, the one voice, the teachings of oneness, the teachings of love. Yes, we are ever one. The teachings we speak of are for all, always available to everyone who chooses to listen, to hear, and to embrace accordingly. We do know the conditions existing on the planet and in the hearts and minds of humans incarnated on this planet at this time. As we have spoken many times, there is an awakening in consciousness to a greater, grander perspective that embraces the oneness of life. This awakening process is on an individual basis and as one also includes the collective consciousness, also known by many as race consciousness. Each of you are experiencing the expansion of the light quotient in your individual expressions based on your current levels of awareness regarding your true nature as a part of oneness. All are part of the Prime Creator living a human experience. As such, each of you is always connected to the whole, to the Prime Creator, God, nature, infinite intelligence. The connection is as close as your breath, as you're breathing. The breath is always there for you. So too is the connection. It's always there, always there. Never in absence, always present. Never interfering, very impersonal by nature, allowing us to have free will and make the choices that we wish to, but letting us know with very subtle energy what is in our best interest and what may not be. The presence is within. It's a gentle, loving presence, a subtle energy to be experienced as it flows in your consciousness. The presence is ever with each of you and in all of creation. In all of creation, the presence is everywhere in everything. All are connected. And when we think about that, we breathe that in for a moment, we take that in. Everything is connected. Everything is working in a symbiotic relationship. We are spirit having a human experience. The universe in which we live, the nature that's all around us, is having a physical experience as well. Everything holds consciousness. Everything has levels of awareness. We're all in this together. So that which is around us is also speaking to us. When we avail ourselves and we're open to receive, we do. If we believe and we allow, then we have experiences. And some of us may come to that through a psychic awakening that we may have. We may have an experience, a psychic experience. We may have a dream of which we're standing before a mighty oak tree and we're having a conversation and we're feeling the tree actually speak inside of us. And we'll wake up and go, wow, that was a mind-blowing dream. That came to us in the dream because that's the way that we would accept it within our filters, within our mind. But it was still working together with the energy of nature, of the tree, to assist us in our navigating through this physical world. I can tell you that I have spoken to trees, plants, flowers, rocks, animals, insects. Everything. And for me, my experience is it is a voice within me. When I listen to or I connect to, I can hear it. I can hear like an audible voice. And it's not that I'm a crazy or whatever, some people may think, but it's an actual experience. And I know it to be because I also feel it inside my heart. And it has always been that which is life affirming, that which is based in love, that which is serving the highest good of all concerned. So yes, the universe is speaking all the time. Every part and parcel of creation is alive. The lives of which we are experiencing are the result of the outpicturing of the energetic imprints each of us hold, which serve to define our experience in relationship to all around us, for the purpose of experiencing ourself in the truth of our being. In truth, meaning as love. We are love. We are love. We are aspects of the Creator, here experiencing life in a physical plane. And in order to do that and to return to our understanding of that which we truly are, we must experience that which we are not first. And as we live through that, then we come to the awareness of that which we are, and we start to move within that. And that's another way of describing this great awakening, beginning to come to the awareness of that which we are in truth, that we are spirit, and that there is so much to the experience of that which we are, that we have yet to even begin to touch the surface. So many of us are really excited to make communication with extraterrestrials, believing that they're alien beings, and we are excited in the thought that, oh my, there's so much more to life. And we as beings also have experienced life in other star systems. And when we're in this physical life and we're having this experience here, and we begin to awaken to that, we go, oh my, I'm a star seed, and that's where I belong. And that's a feeling that we may have, and we cultivate it within ourselves. And when we do that, it becomes stronger. But the fact that our feet are on this planet at this time, experiencing what we're experiencing, it tells us that this is where we belong. But when we come to an encounter that takes us beyond our three-dimensional plane, it starts to expand into other star systems, galaxies, multidimensional existences, whatever it may be. It's for the purpose of awakening to the oneness of that which we are. And when we open to that, and we open to communicate in oneness, in love, then we all rise up. Then our light quotient expands. The more light we can take on in our physical apparatus here expands. And that's what we are to experience in this awakening. Each of us experiences realities that we are creating along with shared experiences of the collective realities of which we are in agreement with. This we can say is the world, different cultures, societies, different organizations, our physical world, our three-dimensional world. We are in agreement with that. We're also in an agreement that we are to expand in consciousness and return to oneness. And that's what draws us to study. That's what draws us to tune into podcasts like this. That's what draws us to people who are of like vibration. That's what draws us to a book. That's what gets us to pay attention, is that desire within to return to the oneness, to love. We are all kind of programmed for love because that's what we are. We are that love, and we seek that love. We seek to experience that love. And when that becomes inverted, it becomes the desire and seeking of power. because power creates a feeling inside that replaces that desire for love. And we have both of that going on in the world. We have both states going on in the world. We have those that are seeking power over others, and those that are seeking love and to be empowered and to empower others. So we have those who are seeking to disempower, those seeking to empower. So we want to pay attention to where we are within our own consciousness and what we are tuning into. There's so many distractions in this world, and there's so many things we could look to. We want to really pay attention to what we are aligning our energy with. What we align with draws us closer, draws us nearer, as we are magnetic beings. So we want to be mindful enough that we are aligning with the presence of love, that we are aligning with love. Our actions are love-based. We want to be around those that are in loving kindness. That's important for us at this time, that we pay attention. Pay attention to what music we're listening to. Pay attention to what movies we're watching. Pay attention to the energy. Energy. Everything is energy. We are energy. Everything is an energy, is emitting a frequency, a vibration. Vibration is everything. We want to make sure that we are aligning with the vibration of which we are choosing to experience. So we are in alignment and agreement with the collective consciousness. Now, the collective consciousness is like one big soup. It's got everything in it. Every thought and belief that's ever been is in it. So there's so much in that we can draw from, depending on where we are with our own magnetic resonance, where we are in our consciousness, our awareness, what we are calling into experience in life. So right now we've got upheaval, we've got disruption, we've got crumbling of old ways, we've got a lot of fear in our environment, but we also have a lot of love. So we must seek to align with that which we choose. If we're choosing love as the path, seek to align with the love. If we're choosing fear as the path, we seek to align with the fear. Choosing fear, being drawn further into fear, is that which we may do. That which we may do. It may draw us in of ways of which we're not even aware of, by the offering of that which we hold value with, which is power. Power corrupts, and ultimate power ultimately corrupts. So we're experiencing that in our world. We're experiencing that through what's going on with our governments. We can see the corruption. We can feel the corruption. And we want to make sure of where we are aligning our energies with. We want to be able to discern what the truth is before it's revealed to us. Because we can be tricked, we can be duped, and we have been for a very long time. And now is the time of clearing, of cleansing, and of coming to the realization of divine truth. So this is what we're all headed towards, and what we're experiencing right now in different degrees, depending on where we are within our consciousness. Some of us are just beginning to awaken, and some of us have been awakened for quite some time. Some of us have come in awakened to be present right here, right now, to assist in what is taking place. So there's all different things going on. So each of you are now experiencing massive shifts in your collective expressions. Everything is changing, moving in magnetic resonance with the shifting awareness of consciousness. It's shifting awareness of consciousness, moving to the unity consciousness, the unified field, the unity consciousness. The great shift is taking place where life, as it was accepted, is now making radical changes. Not subtle changes, but radical changes. There is so much going on in the collective and individual expressions of consciousness. We call this moment the rising up. It is the result of leveling up in states of awareness from the lower states of consciousness, which include all states of consciousness outside of the vibratory field of love. So all that is not in the field of love, lower vibrating fear-based energies. Thus, more and more of you are awakening to higher states of consciousness, moving your life's direction to the field of love and out of the field of fear. Keeping in mind this is an individual experience as well as a collective experience. Thus, we can say the game of life. So we're all in the game of life together. The game of life takes a turn to the positive polarity. As this turn takes place, that which does not align vibrationally must shift in new frequencies or fall off the game board, so to speak. As the board rises to higher frequency, field, or plane of existence. Without going too much into detail with what was just said. Now, this is a simplified explanation of what is taking place on your world for the purposes of calling into play your inner voice, your inner knowing. It is now imperative that each of you practice to cultivate a deep, abiding connection with your inner voice, intuition, the presence within. We are suggesting to all of you that this be your focus moving forward in your most challenging times as the earth up levels and old ways of being crumble. What was accepted as truths will be revealed to be the lies and falsifications to empower and embolden a subgroup of beings holding to a belief in ultimate power over all. Now, this is not to judge any other. This is not to make anyone in fear. This is just simply to state that there is a division, that we have the fear and we have love. We've always had the lower frequencies, but now is the time to rise up, to level up. Now is the time to individually and collectively join in rising up. And those who choose the path of power over others have the right to do so. And they shall. They shall do so. As a result, they have the opportunity to make a choice. And if they choose to hold to the lower frequency, they will vibrate off the game board as the earth rises. Your inner voice is your solace, your peace and your guiding light to the field of expression, which is in resonance and absolute alignment with who you are in truth. The greater percentage of you are not yet aware of who you truly are. For many, this is becoming a conceptual realization. We're beginning to open to the concepts, beginning to open to the understanding. I am so much more than I know. I am a divine being of lights. I am so much more. But as you grow, and growth is going to be rapid, a much more accelerated pace than ever before now in this time of awakening. In the understanding and recognition and embracing of the absolute truth of your divine presence, you return to love. The inner voice is your source and guide. Learning to listen and feel this connection is what assists all in their returning to love. This is the safety net, so to speak. This is where we are to connect to now. Now, now, now. It is so important that we connect to our own inner voice so that we are not swept away in the energy, the waves that are rising and falling in the fear energy that is all around us. Your inner voice is the voice of love. As you move in the direction of love's guidance, you begin to learn and leave the world of illusion and step ever closer to the reality of love as your natural state of being. So it's a natural occurrence, a natural movement. We start to look away from the illusion of power, the illusion of what we believed was true. And we move in the higher frequency and we pivot, we turn to love. And we begin to up level in the field of love. And we begin experiencing in the field of love. This is the Great Awakening. Your inner voice is a constant, never-changing, always loving presence within you to guide you and experience life with you. You're not on your own to make it through this. Together with the presence, we just are to focus on the presence. The key to tuning into the voice is trust. Trust its presence and allow its outpicturing of love to guide you in all of your decisions and concerns. Remember, the voice is gentle, subtle, still. So in order to receive its guidance, you must avail yourself to its presence. So when we're running all around like a chicken without a head and we're trying to figure things out and we're so much in our mind and so much mental activity going on, there's no way we're going to connect with that gentle, subtle voice within. We must be able to bring ourselves into a state where we are receptive to listening to the voice, feeling the energy. Means I surrender to the presence. I'm not trying to control. I'm not trying to make things happen. I'm not trying to figure out so hard which is the right decision, which is the right home to buy, which is the right partner, which is the right this. Should I move across the country? What should I do? Things are happening all around me. I don't know where I should be. Where you should be in that moment is sitting quietly and allowing yourself to be directed. You'll know which way to go. You'll feel it. You won't have resistance. It won't create chaos within you. It'll be a sense of inner peace, a sense of calmness. It doesn't mean it's going to stay calm and peaceful. It means in that moment, you will feel, oh, that's the way to go. This is what I need to do. Now I'm going to get up and move in that direction. I'm going to go. We get the guidance, and then it's ours to step into action, trusting that the guidance is pure, that the guidance is directing us because it's the presence of love. Know it is there for you always. Sit or stand, breathe, and imagine all stress and concerns flowing from view, flowing from your body, just oozing out and just dissipating in the air, however it feels right for you, so that you come to a calm state, a state of readiness, a state of surrender. And then ask your questions or hold a discussion and feel the energy in your body. If you are standing, your body may move towards, as I said before, it'll lean. It's not going to take a dive forward. It's just going to subtly, when you ask a question, it might just subtly have a little tiny lean forward or move away from. You'll notice that when you're around people, and that's how you can tune into it too. If you're around people or you go to a place that you've never been before and there's some new people in the room, in the space, whatever it may be, you'll notice yourself with certain individuals, you'll find yourself moving back, and other individuals you'll be moving towards. That's the energy. That's the subtle energy that I'm speaking about here. When we pay attention to it, it's always in play. We're just not tuning in. We're not paying attention because there's so many distractions, so many other louder voices that get our attention. But we need to say no more to these louder voices, no more to these distractions, no more to these silly phones. We need to put them down. They have a purpose when you need to make a phone call. They have a purpose when you want to look something up. But you're not to be streaming on them continuously. That is hijacking your mind and programming you in ways of which are destructive. Recognize that. Bless the phone for that which it can provide and put it down and sit quietly. Sit up against a tree and feel the life force energy of the tree within you. Meditate. Practice mindfulness. Acknowledge the divine presence within you. Acknowledge that you are divine. Take these steps to assist you now in your awakening so that you are up-leveling, so that you are raising your frequency, so that you experience the life you choose. You must be aware at this time. You must be on guard to your thoughts. You must align yourself actively with the presence of love, treating others in a loving kindness, being respectful in your thoughts as well as your words that you speak. Elevate one another, not disempower one another, not judge and condemn one another. If someone thinks differently than you do, it's okay. We're not meant to be carbon copies. We're meant to be individual aspects of the Creator in physical form experiencing life so that we come to our own individual awakening to the fact that we are love. But we must live life in order to arrive. So when somebody is holding a different point of view from you, it simply means that they're living life on their terms. You live it on yours and allow them to live it on theirs. Don't condemn them in your thoughts. Don't think less of them. Don't call them an idiot, a moron, or all these other things that people are using. That is harmful to us all. We want to rise up. We don't want to go lower. We've been low long enough. It's time to rise, rise, rise. Make the individual choice within yourself to live life aligned with the divine. Come home. Come home to that which you are, which is love. In each and every breath, in each and every action, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, do it with as much love as you can in each and every moment. When somebody says something and you find it offensive, step back. Don't react. Step back, breathe in, and say, the mind that spoke those words is not aware. But here now, in this moment, I choose awareness. The awareness that we are both love. And I choose love in this moment. I choose to fill my own mind and body with love and then send that out. Not engaging with that energy that is seeking to hold us down. But we must individually act, and then we can collectively experience. So practice mindfulness, connecting to that divine voice within. And then the team has asked me if I finished everything. Oh, okay, I haven't yet finished. I get carried away. Okay, now here we are speaking of aligning with the presence within, which is love. And always shine light on your highest good and the highest good for all others. At this time in your world, many of you are calling out for help in knowing what is true, who to trust, which direction to move within in your lives. Although the presence has always been with all of you, most have not been aware of the presence. At this time, it is important for all to connect. So practice, 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 practice. Love is that which you are. Love is yours to experience. Come home to you. They've asked me to read this piece on discernment that they wrote many years ago, but they want me to read it here tonight. So I have a few minutes. I have 4 minutes. Let me see how fast I can do it. Okay. We ask you to allow this message to come forth to your heart. Yes, we are all here. We are all one with God, the creator of all. Yes, we are all love. We are the light. We are the light. We are all one, dear one. The voice of oneness is that of love without conditions. Love abounds and is free to flow in and around all. It is not so that one must feel pain or discomfort to learn a lesson unless they make that choice. Messages given are to guide and support and are always free of judgment and expectation. Guidance is the free flow of love, which is to be felt within, which causes a stir or call to action. It is not so at any time that one must feel pain or discomfort, as both are conditions of the mind. Love is not within the mind. It speaks to and through the heart of all. Now let us discuss the pain as it is related to change. When lessons are presented, they are given based on the need determined by the receiver. It is the receiver who deems it necessary to enter into events or actions which hold the potentials for pain or discomfort to be present within. It is not the purpose of any message from a higher source to cause one discomfort or pain, as a higher source is operating within the band of love frequencies. Remember, dear one, the decision to change or not to change any action or event lies only with you. Only with you. It would be with you who would call forth the opportunity to experience what you wish to be. When one is calling forth an experience to seek change, it is for a specific purpose, and guidance may then be given to assist the individual in realizing their lesson. This is a process of expressing one's inner essence. Guidance is to guide. It is never to determine a path, set a judgment, or look for a specific result. These are the workings of the mind and not the higher frequencies of the heart. When receiving messages, there are questions that all need to ask. And we would like to suggest a few goodies here. Number one, how does it feel? How do you feel in your body? Does it speak to your soul? Do you feel the love present? And most importantly, is the message empowering or disempowering? Now, who is empowered? The receiver or the messenger? Very important. Who is empowered? The receiver or the messenger? Watch out if anybody wants to empower over you. Walk the other way. As a matter of fact, don't walk, run. Or those presenting the message. The questions are that to be asked of all serving as messengers. Who is speaking? What is the purpose? What is the purpose of the message? Are the messages presented of truth, light of the creator of all? When one knows this to be so, then speak. All are one, each is at their individual point of remembrance and in constant communication with their soul for guidance. It is that we say to all, trust in you, for you know the way. Let it be that all sit within their heart center, for you are to discern what is correct for your experience. And with that, I end with be in oneness.